Okay, let's go ahead and get started with our guided practice to help you prepare for your independent practice as well as your exit ticket. Please remember to use the steps that are in your assignment. They're posted here. It gives you literally every step that you need to take to make sure you're solving the problem correctly. Though this image is also in your assignment, so make sure you're using it and you're not just flying through your work because that's not going to help you prepare for next year. So let's go ahead and start with number one. We have 924 divided by 7. I'm going to go ahead and put 924 inside the house. I have 7 on the outside. I need to figure out how many times 7 goes into 9. I'm going to come on over to the side and start working my multiplication here. 7 times 1 gives me 7. 7 times 2 gives me 14. 14 is too large of a number, so I know that I have to stick with 1. 7 goes into 9 once without going over. Don't forget to multiply here. So 1 times 7 gives you 7. 9 minus 7 gives you 2. Bringing down this 2, don't be ashamed to use arrows. Arrows are going to help guide that digit to the right place and making sure you're not jumbling up your numbers. So now we need to keep going because I need to get close to 22. 7 times 3 gets you 21. 7 times 4 gets you 28. I'm going to stop there because 28 is too large of a number. I got to stick to 21. So that answer is going to be 3. Notice I'm placing my digits right above the digit that I brought down so that I can make sure my numbers are correct. So 7 times 3 got me 21. So I'm going to place that 3 there. Don't forget to multiply. 3 times 7 gives you 21. Subtracting 22 minus 21 gives me 1. These steps are right over here, you guys. So I'm literally just following these steps the entire time. I'm going to bring down that sloppy arrow to make sure I bring down that 4. 7 goes into 14. We already did the work. We have 14 over here to the side. 7 goes into 14 2 times. 2 goes above this 4. 2 times 7 gives me 14. Now, some of you like to just stop right there. Oh, it's 14. Okay, that goes in evenly. Keep working out the problem literally until you get to this 0. I don't care that it's 0 at the end. You still need to keep working out that problem because when you get to working with more digits and more like challenging division problems, you could very well make a mistake thinking you know best and thinking you don't need to complete the problem. That is wrong and that is not a good habit. Keep going until you get to that 0 at the end. Let's go over here to number 2. Oh, wait a minute. Let me circle my answer. My quotient is 132. Now let's go ahead and move to number 2. We have 748 divided by 4. 748 is going inside the house. 4 is going outside. We need to see how many times 4 can go into 7. I'm going to come over to the side and do my 4s. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. I'm going to stop there. 8 is going over that 7, so I know that 4 goes into 7 just once. I am going to, I moved too fast without going through my steps. 1 times 4 got you 4. So that 4 is going to be brought down underneath the 7. 7 minus 4 gives me 3. I'm going to draw my arrow, bringing down that 4. Now I have 34. How many times does 4 go into 34? Some of you know your math facts. If you know 4 times what gets you 34, gets you close to 34, go for it. Otherwise, come on over and do the work. Some of you are sort of lazy in your work and you don't feel the need to come to the side and show work or do work, and that is also a very bad habit because it's only going to get more complicated. So you need to get in the habit now of doing the work. Notice notice the pattern is just adding 4 more. Let me move this up some. I'm sort of writing on my notes. Still going. I'm trying to get to 34. And let's see if we can get even closer than that, which I doubt. And we cannot. So we got 4 times 8 is equal to 32. That's the closest we can get. So that 8, I'm going to go ahead and put above this 4. Because 4 can go into 34 8 times. 8 times 4 gives you 32. 34 minus 32 gives you 2. bringing down that 8. Let's see over here to the side if we can find that. Yep, it's already here. 4 times 7 got you 28. So I know 4 goes into 28 7 times. 7 times 4 gets you 28. My 8s look terrible. My quotient is 187. Don't mind that little X. My little pen went too far over. But the quotient is 187 for this answer. All right, 255 divided by 5. We should be getting in the swing of it. If you're doing this while I'm doing it, you should be getting better at it. All right, we have 255 divided by 5. Let's go ahead and start. Now, this one is a little trickier, so this isn't as simple. I'm still going to come over here, and I'm still going to ask myself the same question. How many times can 5 go into 2? Well, that is, I was about to write a 2. If I come over and do my facts, I know for a fact that's 0 because the smallest number I can get is 5, and 5 is greater than 2, so that's a 0. 5 cannot go into 2 at all. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 0 up there so that I don't get my digits confused up top in my quotient. So now I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 5 go into 25? So it's not just 5 going into 5. This 2 now becomes 25. So how many times does 5 go into 25? Coming over, we should know our 5s very easily. Let me change this grip up a little bit. All right, 5 times 2 is 10. We got 15. We got 20. And we got 25. So we actually get right on to 25. So we know that 5 goes into 25 5 times. Notice where I'm placing my 5. Don't forget to start multiplying. 5 times 5 gives you what? Gives you 25. I am going to subtract. 25 minus 25 is 0. Bringing down that extra 5 up top. 5 goes into 5. How many times? We have a 5 over here. So it goes into 5 one time. 1 times 5 gives me 5. I'm going to subtract again. 5 minus 5 gives me 0. My quotient is 51. You don't have to add that 0 right there into your number because that just represents nothing. There's 0 hundredths. You don't say 0 hundredths 51. You just simply will say 51. So your answer is 51. Let's go ahead with number 4, and you'll notice it'll be very similar to number 3. It is not going to go into 1. So you are going to have to remember, my 8s are just terrible on this thing. You are going to have to remember that step of what to do when the divisor doesn't go into a dividend, that first digit there. So we're dividing by 9. So we got 198 divided by 9. Let's go ahead with the same steps and ask ourselves, how many times does 9 go into 1? If I'm over here and I'm doing my math facts, 9 times 1 is 9. I know that 9 is greater than 1, so it's a 0 right here. 9 cannot go into 1. If you hold up your fingers, right, can you get 9 out of 1 at all? No, you cannot. So that's a 0. 0, and I'm not going to do the multiplication because I'm multiplying with 0. And so I'm going to come over it. This 1 now comes to 19. I'm thinking of it now as 19. And so how many times does 9 go into 19? And let's go ahead over to the side and do some facts. 9 times 2 gives me 18. 9 times 3 gets me 27. I can stop there because 27 is actually too large of a number. So I know that 9 goes into 19 twice. 2 times 9, now I'm going to start multiplying. 2 times 9 gives me 18. You just did the work over there. 19 minus 18 gives me 1. Bringing down my 8. We just did the work here. 9 times 2 is 18, so 9 goes into 18 twice again. 2 times 9 gives you 18. 18 minus 18 is 0. My quotient is 22. Don't forget, you don't want to add that 0. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't add any value. Your answer is simply 22. If you need to rewind any part of this video so that you can get it going for your independent and exit ticket, feel free to do so. If you have any questions outside of this video, give me a call or text me.